Good morning you guys, it's Karen, and today I am talking about some new things out by Boots No7. I have bought 3 things and I noticed that there are another 3 things that I thought I might as well tell you about, tell you the price, why I didn't buy them, that kind of thing. So I suppose it's kind of a new at the drugstore, but this is just Boots No7. I can't tell you how happy I am to be here filming this week because last week was just a nightmare. I had the most debilitating migraine all week, pretty much 24/7. It was just awful, but I will do a headache update over on my Life as a Zebra channel and talk about the new medication I've got and devices I've tried and things like that. Okay, I will start with the things that I didn't buy because the first one is probably the one that a lot of you want to know about, and is the one that I only found when I was writing down my notes. So when when I'm doing a review, I'll make sure I have a look at the ingredients, how many colours are available in any products, that kind of thing. And I noticed that they have out an LED mask. I think this looks like a good dupe of the current body mask that I have. So I had a look at it. They don't have too many technical details about it, but it's £150 versus the one I bought was £350. But they look to have about the same amount of lights. There's about 60 on each, 60 plus on each light. They are both red and near infrared light, so they're both mixed, which is really good because when I first saw it at £150 I thought, oh, I bet you that's just red light, but it's not. It's red plus near infrared, which is the one that is has the research behind it for aging. It looks to be the same sort of flexible type mask. It attaches in the same way at the back of the head, it's got little loopholes at the side. It's portable as well. It looks to have exactly the same type of charger. The things obviously I can't talk about are if it feels the same on, how long the battery would last, but I have to say it looks like an almost exact dupe to me of the current body one. So if you have been thinking about getting an LED mask for anti-aging, I would say that this would be a good one. You might want to wait until some reviews come out. The only thing is, like on the Boots website, I feel like a lot of them have been sent things when there's reviews on there, and it doesn't necessarily say. I don't think Boots necessarily send things to people to review on YouTube though, or maybe they do, I don't know. I've never seen anything where anybody said this has been sent to me, but I'll certainly be looking out at the reviews with interest to see, what people say. I hope this light shining in that's creating shadows isn't going to be too off-putting. I can see there's a kind of a shadow across me, isn't there? But if I pull it down, if I pull my blinds down, it just looks way too dark, and all of the colours, makeup, hair, everything just looks off, The other thing I didn't buy was an eye gel, but it does look quite nice if you're into eye creams and gels. You guys know I just don't think that they're necessary. I have bought a couple because firstly I bought the Niod fractionated eye contour concentrate because that's something that I feel like is really unique feeling and it feels lovely on my eyes, and I have been using that. And then I also bought one from Amazon simply because it had the ingredients in. I was looking for something to use around my eyes, so it had no fragrance, it had alpha lipoic acid, but I've actually found that's made under my eyes very, very dry. But generally I don't use an eye cream, and even with those ones that I enjoy, I forget to use them. So this is £12 and it has some good ingredients in it. It's got sodium hyaluronate in it. There's mixed reviews about this. Somebody said it was too sticky. Somebody else said that they loved how it felt, but that it had done nothing for their under eyes, which I think there's just some of us that sodium hyaluronate doesn't do anything for us. And then there's other people that just said it's the best eye cream they'd ever used. They were in love, it had transformed their under eyes. So really mixed reviews for that one, but it's £12. And like I said, I didn't buy that one. And then the final thing that I didn't buy was the illuminating powder. So it basically looks to be a highlighter. It's £13.50 and comes in 2 colours. There's no reviews of it. I can't find any reviews of it. Looking at it, it just looked like a standard highlighter powder to me. And the 2 colours looked very similar. I did, go quite close up and have a look in Boots, but of course there's no testers out nowadays. But yeah, I couldn't see much difference between the colour. There maybe would be when you swatched them, By the highlighters or the illuminating powder, because I just don't use highlighter. I have probably 4 or 5, and I can't remember the last time I used one. It would have been at least 6 months ago, maybe even a year. I think I bought a loose one from Revolution, a loose one, and it was really, really pretty, but it didn't last and it kind of fell down my face. it was really beautiful, but it's something I should pull out and try and see what I think, but I can't see me buying any more, you know, because it's not something that I'm ever going to use regularly, I don't think. Okay, on to the things that I did buy, and these, there's nothing that I think is amazing here, but you guys might, because the things that I tell you about might be your cup of tea, you know. So let me start with the powder. This is, by the way, I got these in a 3 for 2 deal. I think I might have had money off as well. No7 are one of the only places I know that will allow you to use, you know, almost use a discount code even if there's an offer on. And so this is the, what is it called? Ceramide powder, I think it's called. Does it say on the back? Hydroluminous Ceramide Pressed Powder. And I got mine in number 2. So this is what it looks like. This is what I have got on today. It is £13 for this, but I immediately noticed that it looked smaller, and I use up pressed powder pretty quickly, and this compared to the one that I'm currently using, which is just their pressed powder, I think it might be Stay Perfect, something like that, that has 10 grams in it versus this has 9 grams, so there is a little bit less in this for the same price. This comes in 4 different colours. So like I said, I bought number 2, which was the second one down. I'm wishing I'd have bought number 1. I did. It's one of those things where this is probably more suitable to my colour when I've got a tan, but even then I always find that powders that are darker, powders that are not translucent, just sort of gather in places, and it makes it look more obvious that you're wearing makeup. That's what I feel, and that's what's happened with this for me. This says that this blurs dehydration lines, and it's got ceramide and squalane in it, so some lovely ingredients. And obviously the idea of this whole range, this whole hydroluminous range, is that it gives you hydration. I think this is just okay. Like I said, I wish I'd have got it in number 1. I think that might have been better, but it looked more pale than it did translucent, but of course without a tester it's really hard to tell. I did notice a sign up in Boots saying that they would accept cosmetics back now even if opened, because they realised they don't do any testers. So they're obviously trying to get you to buy more things, you know, so I might be able to go in and swap it for the lighter colour. I don't know, I think I'd feel a bit weird about doing that, you know, because it's the first time our shops have done that. I know in the USA that's something you can do, but it's not something in the UK that's acceptable here. You can't return something that's used. But anyway, that aside, it's a nice enough powder. It doesn't give a flat look, certainly. It's one that I've put on and thought, I still look like I've got a tiny little bit of shine. I wanted to go over it with another brush. In fact, I did. I went over with the other number 7 powder, just kind of here and a little bit in here. Where I had used this, I thought it still doesn't look completely matte, and it doesn't claim to be matte, but neither does it claim to be luminous, you know. It's just a finishing powder, but it's nice enough. It's nothing, I think for £13 I don't think that you need to pay that for a powder. I love the Revolution finishing powders, and you know, they're half the price of this, so there's nothing amazing in that for me. Second item is the Stay Perfect Matte Fixing Mist. Actually, the one I didn't mention that I didn't buy is they also do this in an what do they call it? A luminous, I think. A luminous option, yeah. So you can get a finishing mist in luminous, or this one is the matte fixing mist. This one is £13. Both of them are £13. I wouldn't buy a luminous one. It's just I prefer a matte finish. There's no fragrance in here, which is great. There is some flower extract that I've never heard of. I can't smell anything. There's no scent at all, so that's good. But there was a flower extract in here that I think is supposed to be a conditioner. This has niacinamide in it, and it has alcohol in it, but the alcohol is number 6 on the list, so it's not too high, and it isn't one where you spray it and I can't tell there's alcohol in it. Often with things for my hair and face and just anything really, you can tell if there's a high amount of alcohol, but this I didn't notice at all that there was alcohol in it. And because I'm putting it on top of makeup, I'm not too bothered by that. But I think if you've got dry skin, you probably want to avoid that. It's nice that it's got niacinamide in it as well. This one takes a lot longer to dry than something like the Morphe Continuous Mist, but this is also a mist, so I'll show you me using it. I have already used this morning, actually. yeah, I can tell when I breathed in there. Normally that's when I can tell, oh yeah, that's got alcohol in it, and I can't with this. This one, because this is a non-aerosol, that's why it takes a bit longer to dry. So like I said, the Morphe Continuous Mist you spray over, and I feel like that dries almost instantly. This one you need to wait for a minute. I know some people use a hairdryer on their face, don't they? But I've used this quite a few times. I have sprayed it inside of my mask, and yeah, it's doing a good job of keeping the makeup off of my mask. The only thing I would say is, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it now, I don't think it's 100% matte. You know, it's called a matte fixing mist. But again, when I use this, a little while later, I'm like, well, I look like I'm shiny again. I feel like I want to powder again, or I want to take a tissue and kind of block my face. You know, I don't think it's 100% matte. So I don't know whether that's just me or not, but other than that, it's definitely holding my makeup on. Like I said, for me at the minute, it's great with setting sprays because I've got the mask test. You know, I can see how much makeup is on the inside of my mask. The final item that I did buy is the Aqua Release Skin Perfector Tinted Moisturiser 8-Hour Hydration Light Coverage. This was £14. There's 6 colours, 6 choices in this, so not a massive range, but the idea is that this is very light, so you know you don't need so much the exact colour. It says it's Aqua Release, it gives you 8-hour hydration, and again it says that it blurs dehydration lines. As this powder said, I haven't noticed this with this. I haven't noticed it blurring any type of lines. But with this one, you're supposed to apply it. I'll show you it on my hand, but I will put it on perhaps tomorrow to show you what it's like. So you're supposed to rub it in and just keep on rubbing it in, and you can see that it just then looks like a moisturiser. You know, it doesn't look like anything. It feels very nice going on. I bought it because I'm definitely curious about wearing something daily that is less than a foundation. The one that I've been wearing that I do love is the No7, funny enough, the Hydro Luminous foundation, I think it's called. I do really like that. You guys know I do, but I don't like the fact that it's got retinol palmitate in it. But this one I thought, oh, maybe I'll like a tinted moisturiser now. You know, I don't need too much coverage, but in order to put eyeshadow on and whatnot, I feel like I need to have a base. You know, it would just feel odd trying out an eyeshadow look without some kind of base on. So I've tried this a couple of times, and it's not for me because there's just zero coverage. You know, I feel like I maybe need to look at a CC cream or a BB cream. I don't know whether that would have more coverage, but there's just, I've already put a moisturiser on my face. You know, I've already hydrated my face in the morning, and so it is nice to put a moisturising foundation on something that is going to give you cover and not dry your skin out. But this is just like putting another moisturiser on because there's just barely any cover. You know I've put it on, I've had a couple of sort of breakouts and things. In fact, there's one I haven't covered this morning. But when that one was very visible, I used this, and it takes no redness away from your face at all. And so to me, that's kind of pointless. I don't know. So I just didn't really get how or why I would use this. And I don't know whether I'll use it up or not because I'm like, I might as well not bother using anything. Actually, saying that, I did use it. I was using it mixed with a drop of, you know, the Indeed Labs bronzer that I got. I did start using, like, I put a big splodge of this on my hand and then a couple of drops of the bronzer and use that. And that was quite nice. I suppose that gives you more than a bit of moisturiser, and it also dilutes those bronzer drops because they definitely needed to be diluted. So I might well use it that way. So I'm really trying to be good in using things up that I buy, you know. So this might be one that really appeals to you because you might be looking for something exactly like that. But other than that, it's nice. It does feel moisturising. Later on in the day, I could tell like it was as if I had foundation on it and it was gathering. So that was a bit disappointing because I figured if you were putting something on that was that light coverage, that you wouldn't really notice it disappearing, you know, that your skin would look, that it would look the same throughout the day, but it didn't. I could see sort of here it was sort of gathered, and on my cheeks it was a bit obvious, you know, it started looking a bit cakey. So not a repurchase for me, but nothing majorly wrong with it. I think that's everything that's new. I feel like they come out with a lot of new stuff, you know. I always go straight to the No7 counter when I go into Boots because I just always expect them to have something new. It's normally a mascara, isn't it? Do you know what, actually, I got their new mascara and it's in my empties and fails that we get it, because this is fairly new actually. I don't know the price of this. I think it was on offer when I got it. You know, it was one of those things, I rarely say yes to these, but I was at the counter paying and the guy was like, we've got the new No7 mascara on offer, do you want to buy it? And I was like, yeah, why not? You know, I hadn't even looked at the brush or anything. The brush is okay. I might have already showed you this. The brush looks okay. It is a natural bristle brush, so it's not a plastic one, so that's good. So it all looked very hopeful, but this did nothing for me, literally nothing, and it felt really gluey, if that makes sense. It felt like as I was using it, all my lashes were sticking together. And so from the very first use, I was like, no, this is terrible. I really don't like this at all. It's called Stay Perfect Ultra. And you guys know I like and have got the last new release. That was a surprise to me. That's got a really big brush. But no, this one, not so good. I think they need to really cut down the mascaras. There's just way too many. That's everything for me today. So all that's left is to tell you what I am wearing today. I have got on the Kiko Insta Moisture Foundation, which I really do love. On my eyes is the Pat McGrath Divine Rose palette. These are those eyelashes that I just adore. They are by the Eyelash Emporium and they're called Walk of Fame. That's it, Walk of Fame. Blush it's an old blush. It's by Clinique and it's called Innocent Peach. On my lips is a Colourpop lipstick, liquid lipstick in Midnight Snack. And I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching and I'll speak to you again soon.